It is 20 minutes after 7 on Morning Barbados. We continue to tell our story here, and someone who's doing a whole lot better of a job than that, especially for children, is John Martin. He's brought with us a very lively looking little book that I'm sure that someone is going to be very pleased to be reading to someone or reading themselves. What Brings Me Joy, A Day at the Park. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Tell us a little bit about how you came up with the concept for the book.
The concept first came to me on my way, first time back to Barbados after being gone for quite a while. And the book itself was inspired by my daughter, who at the time was 7 years old. From then, she worked with me to create the characters, and I had her create the art direction for the book. And through her vision, I then created what you have in your hand right now.
She must be really happy to know that what she's thought about and what she's worked with her daddy is actually in paper form.
Yes, she's very happy about it, but I'm even more proud that I was able to see her vision and understand it, interpret it, and be able to present it as a tool that I believe will market Barbados in a very positive direction.
And what age group is this book skewed?
It's suggested for early readers, I believe between the age of 3 to 8.
What I like about it is because Doug's looking through it and we've got some illustrations. So none of this kind of like sanitized, very almost studio drawn. There's actually paper and pencil drawings in there.
Yes, I wanted to show the actual drawings of hers that helped create the book, so I include them in this version.
That's Destiny.
Destiny, yeah.
And I see the butterfly garden and the windows.
Yeah. The windows, the page with the windows, that was the one that inspired me most because she depicted the windows in such a way, the characters, in her original drawing, the characters themselves have eyes as windows. And I thought that was really beautiful, and as we all know, windows are the eyes of the soul.
Of course.
So I took that particular aspect, plus her love for the park and the beach and stuff like that. So the book is actually a series, and the whole series is dedicated to what makes you happy and what brings you joy. And I think that the kids of today need to remember the very simple things that creates that joy in their life. We tend to forget, even as adults.
Other titles in the series, What Makes Me Happy?
This
one is The Park. Are there any others?
Yes. A Day at the Beach, which is more specifically directed to Barbados. And my third one would be Outdoor Games. I have one, Music Makes Me Happy. And these are the things that I believe that when you are feeling down or sad, if you dedicate yourself to remember what it is that makes you happy, you can live a more joyous life and accomplish more of your goals.
I hear you suggest that these books have an impact on the marketing of Barbados.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there is a...
the mouth is a trident.
Yes, I'm seeing that popping up in the book. That's obviously deliberate?
Yes, intentional. Intentional. I wanted to create something that reflected Barbados, and in such a way that the youth, the people of Barbados could be proud. I have not seen that Barbados had anything that was specifically dedicated to that, especially in the trendy market, the cartoons. I think that from my observation, that is something that's pretty popular at the moment. And if you can impact the kids from that age, that it could have a great, positive response.
Who uses this book, and what has been the response to it?
Well, in Los Angeles, I have a career in art, and I also teach art right now in the public schools, and specifically Long Beach. And the kids, everyone that's seen my book, the first thing they do is I see them light up. The colors, the kids, everything is smile and joyous. And it's not just for children, but children of all ages. We all have that kid inside of us. The response has been very good. Like I said, when people see my book, they tend to light up, make them feel happy. So it's not just the title, but the intention behind the whole book.
You know, John, there are people who would say books are dying. It's all about the we now. It's all about PSP and laptops and iPads. But you're still producing books, the physical.
Well,
what is the role of the book, you think, in childhood these days?
Well, to actually hold it in your hand, and it's like art itself. And yes, you can have art on the computer, you can have it digitized, but there's nothing like having that piece within your hands. And the book, it will lead to that kind of stuff. It will. I've created an actual digital book, which makes it worldwide. You can access it right away, and that's at happyislandbooks.com. You can go see that right away. But this is just the beginning, and this is actually my sample. Currently, I'm hoping and looking, and I decided this is my first TV show in regards to the book, and I am looking to get the support of Barbados and Barbadians. I decided to come back home to do this. I could do it overseas, but I decided to come back here to do that. I think that with the support of my home and the people here, it would then build that confidence and security that I believe, you know, I need to move forward.
What has been the local response to this?
They love it. They love it. I'm hoping to meet with the marketing director at the Board of Tourism. I have some great suggestions on what this can do for the island. I also made a coloring version, a small coloring version that I believe.
Let's have a look.
Good, good.
I can see small children on long-haul flights from the
Yeah,
UK
yes.
really having a ball with these books. A little competition between siblings, maybe. I mean, you're more, I think, than an adoring father who's decided to write a book inspired by his daughter. There's so much more to John Martin in our final few moments. Just give us a taste of, you know, where this book fits in your overall professional offering, in your teaching, in your work in art and photography. Everything.
Not photography, it's actually painting.
Painting.
I've worked with a number of celebrities in Los Angeles. I've done commercials, I've done movies, and I've worked with music videos. Missy Elliott, Shamar Moore, P. Diddy, so many within the hip hop. And this is what I've done for the past 20 years.
So
and
paintings.
Yes, it's all art. It's not photographs.
I'm asking this for a reason, folks, because you would be hard-pressed to think of this as not print, so I'm going to give you an idea of what it's looking like. But yes, this is what you've been pursuing for 20 years, you said?
20 years.
Can you imagine how lifelike that is? It just really does look like a snap of the lady herself. How was the transition between this kind of work and the animation for the book?
Being an artist, I like to say that everything is art, and I spent time to educate myself in using all different types of tools. So going from the airbrush to computer to cutting hair, it is all just art to me. And it was a very smooth transition because I've dedicated my life to art. I was doing art from the time I was in high school here. I went to Ellerslie Secondary School.
Oh, Cassandra.
Hi to all my friends from the school. But art is my life, and it just comes natural. It's second nature to me.
I think it's interesting you said that we're taking a look at some of the other pieces from your portfolio. I think it's interesting you said that if it was necessary to keep abreast of different medium,
Yes.
because then you don't get pigeonholed into
Exactly.
one in particular. But didn't you also find that maybe you became a jack of all trades and not mastering any one of them?
The trade itself is art. The tools are different, but the trade itself is art. So I'm a master of art. Like I said, they're just tools. Pencil, crayons, paint. It doesn't matter. Anything you give me, I can create art with it.
We like that, then.
Well, what Barbadian subject matter has captured your imagination that you think you're willing to just sit down and just etch on canvas?
The subject matter itself is the people. I just love Barbados, and anyone you ask will tell you Barbadians seem to be the most peaceful people on the earth. The island is beautiful, so I've always observed people. I love figure drawing. Portraits are my specialties, so I must say people. In my work, I tend to portray the love that I feel from the people.
We're feeling the love from these books and from this
Tell
work
us,
here.
it's some very, very creative stuff. You do original art on sneakers, for example.
Yes, yes.
And so what happens? I would commission you to do something special for me.
What about cute heels? I'm wearing cute heels today.
I
Not
really want to
sorry.
do this kind of work.
I've done quite a
absolutely
few
incredible.
pairs of sneakers. The ones you're looking at there, the composition book, those were commissioned by Will Smith, and the ones that say respect were for Missy Elliott. So I've done shoes for quite a few different people.
And not to mention hairstyles.
Yes, hairstyles also.
Yeah, that also caught my attention. Some incredible.
That is just flipping
Well,
away there.
I started cutting hair. I started cutting hair as when I was about 11 or 12. It was one of the trades. I grew up in Chalky, not St. Andrew, and cutting hair was one of the trades of my friends. And I learned quite early to cut my friends' hair. I cut their hair, they cut mine. So it's something that I continued as I proceed in my art.
A whole,
my art
whole lot of
ventures.
trial and a little bit of error.
Yeah. So how are you going to connect all this talent with Barbados now?
How I'm going to
Connect all
this
this talent.
wonderful talent.
Well, my goal is to do that through the book. Through the book. Like I said, this is just the beginning, and as I said, I worked with kids, and I love to teach. What I like to do is come back home, and give some of what I've learned over the years. It's very simple. I believe that when you connect with, for me, what I project in my book is, I believe, the foundation of what generated my success. I went to the beach, and I have a particular story. This one is still in the creation, but it reflects the beach. And for me, going to the beach, going to the parks, doing these simple things, the games, the different things that makes you happy, it can then connect you with anything you want to do in life. You first have to start with that foundation.
Well, it certainly made us happy to have you here, John. What Makes Me Happy, What Brings Me Joy is a series of books by a noted author, artist, and general master of the art of art, John Martin. You can visit happyislandbooks.com to find out where you can pick up some other copies of the book. Keep your eyes peeled. Thanks a lot for coming. We'll be right back with Morning Barbados in the final segment of Teaching It.
Morning Barbados.